What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the rePORTER Show, where we talk all things Wayland sports and give you guys that weekly wrap-up of everything going on. I got my co-hosts with me, Devin Acosta and Josh Tucker. We coming up on the last couple of episodes, man, so it's getting, it's sad, but it's exciting. I mean, this weekend wrapped up sports for me. So now we ain't got no more home sports, you know what I'm saying? So it's getting close to the end of it. And we had some exciting things happen this weekend. A lot of people are going into postseason play now, so we're going to have probably one or two more shows, and then that's going to be it. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off, man. Baseball had a matchup against Oklahoma City this weekend. They got pushed back to a Sunday-Monday matchup, so that's pretty wild. They had some weather issues. And surprisingly, we had some weather issues later on in the series as well that I thought would dictate some things, but it didn't. And we're going to get to that when we get to that. But game one, bottom first, Juan was the first pitcher for game one, and he faced an early challenge. He had one run already come across, and his bases loaded with one out. So it's just like, okay, this is pretty dangerous. It's not a situation where you feel good about it. You got bases loaded, you got one out already. One run came across, and it's just like, okay, this could get bad. So let's see what happens here. He struck out the next guy, and then he got a ground out to escape the inning unscathed. So that first inning was a little scared, but they got out of it only allowing one run. Offensively, to start off the second, BP came up and singled to left field. Then Samuel came up behind him and hit a two-run shot to go up 2-1. So early offense. I know last week we talked about them having early offense, and it's really good to see because you got early offense, it's easier. It takes a little bit of pressure off the pitcher. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't got to think to yourself, okay, I got to keep putting up zeros because we're not scoring runs. You know what I'm saying? So we scoring runs, so that's good to see. The game was quiet until the fifth after OCU hit a grand slam, though, to go up 5-2. So that hurt. That hurt a little bit. We ended up losing that one 5-3. Our offense was honestly quiet outside of that second inning where Samuel hit that two-run shot, and we only had 3 hits the whole game. So like I said, it was a quiet game offensively. Defensively, outside of that grand slam, we did good. It is what it is. I mean, it's one of those games where you can't really say that it was a game that we gave away. I mean, when somebody hit a grand slam, it's hard if you don't answer.
It's almost demoralizing.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, like.
I mean,
yeah.
The way we was talking about Oklahoma City, it's almost like, man, it was due to happen. Like, they was due to get a home run or something at some point in the game. But for the most part, it sounds like we fielded pretty well that game.
Absolutely. So, like I said, just a game that we lost. I wouldn't say it was a bad game. We just ended up not coming out on the other side of it. A notable player. It wasn't a lot of hitting going on. So just one guy, Samuel, was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Like I said, when he hit that home run. So we ended up losing that first matchup. Game two. They got it going early in this one again. Offensively, Cooper and Samuel had back-to-back singles, and then Memo had a double to left field to drive in both runs to go up 2-0 in the first inning. So once again, we're jumping out first. Top of the third, Delvis tripled to right field to score another run, and that was a deep field. So once you hit that ball in the gap, if it gets to the fence, you either gonna be at third or you might even end up at home plate. It was a real big field. But anywho, after that, BP hit a sac fly to score him to make it 4-0. Bottom four, OCU was threatening. Will not lie, with bases loaded, 1 out. What does Potts do? Comes up, strikes out the next 2 guys. We get out of that inning. So we're feeding off that energy. Delvis gets on. Then BP came up, and he drills one over the left field fence. They go up 6-0 against Oklahoma City, number 22 ranked team in the nation. Outside of that, what I will say, we ain't beat these boys in forever. It's been that bad. It's been that bad. Between them and USAO, we struggle against them every single year. Defensively, I know every single time y'all have heard me say the score, it's always something to 0. There was a big reason behind that. That boy Potts had a phenomenal game on the mound. After last week's struggles, he came out and said, "Oh, y'all ain't seen me yet. I'm gonna come out here and show y'all who I am." And he did that. He threw a complete game and shut out them on 3 hits. He only gave up 3 hits. He only had 3 walks. And this the good one right here. The boy had 14 strikeouts. That boy was on fire. So, Potts, come on over here, man. Roll on in the show, man, because we got to talk about this one right here, Potts.
What's up, guys?
Let's go with it, man.
I ain't taking stuff personal.
Right. Let me talk about this game. I think what a lot of people don't know, unless you watch the game or you're on the team yourself, what a lot of people don't know is that in that game, After the first inning, they had a 2-hour rain delay. So he had already thrown in the first inning, am I correct?
Yeah.
So he already threw in the first inning, then they had a 2-hour rain delay. Oftentimes, they do not bring the starter back out after that delay because you warm up, you getting out there, you get going. Once you sit down, it's not really a good decision to put you back in the game because of problems that could happen with your arm. You know, once you heat up, you want to stay warm. If you cool back down and then you try to jump back out there and do it right away again, it oftentimes don't turn out too well. But they went with the decision to leave him in the game because he had only thrown one inning. I guess they figured, you know what, let's go ahead and put him back out there and have it. Talk to me about how you felt after the 2-hour delay and you had already thrown one inning and they were like, we're going back to you.
You know, it's kind of funny because, like, you go through your whole warm-up routine, you know, get ready to go, and then you go through that first inning, and it's like, now you're getting ready to settle in. I go back down, I'm sitting down, I'm getting ready, you know, do my in-between innings, and then it's game's called.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't even know if we're going to be playing again that day.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it was nice because we got to loosen up a little bit. You know, it's like you said, it's OCU, you know, number 22 in the country, just lost game 1. We get up 2-0, and then, you know, we just kind of get to sit on that a little bit. So we were out there playing wall ball, playing spike ball, you know, just chilling out, and then it's like, now it's time to go again.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't even really feel like we were down for that long because we're having fun, you know, staying loose, and then it's just, I get going again. It was a nice warm night, so, you know, it really wasn't as bad as, like, you know.
As it seems?
Yeah, as it could have been.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, talking about that, man, was it a situation where Coach asked you if you wanted to go back in, or was it just like, you're going back in?
Yeah, I mean, he came up to me, Todd, and it was, you know, we had like 20 minutes before, it's like, we're starting at 9:05. He's like, you're going to be good. I was like, yeah, you know, let me go throw, make sure, you know, when I'm throwing it's not, you know, killing me, but I'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. So let's get into the details, man. You had 14 strikeouts, and you also threw 134 pitches.
Yeah.
After the delay, at what point in that game did you know, okay, I'm on today? Like, this is finna be one of those games.
You know, honestly, that second inning, I got out there, and it was like, even when I'd missed my spot, they didn't touch it. You know, I'm supposed to be throwing a fastball away, I'm missing up, and it's, you know, they're swinging through it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going back to the dugout after that, and I'm like, you know, maybe it's the lights, but I'm feeling like, you know, they're not seeing me like, you know, they could be, or my stuff's like on, so, you know.
That's how it worked out for you. Okay, man. So with the, once you started racking up the strikeouts, bro, at what point in that game did you, well, if you did, at what point in that game did you feel sort of that fatigue sort of build up on you? I mean, when you get to 134 pitches, at what point in the game did you tell yourself, I'm getting a little tired, or did you never get to that point?
You know, that's the thing, like, when I'm out there, I'm not thinking about how many pitches I threw.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even think about, you know, one inning to the next. So when I'm out there, it's just, I've been working a lot this season on taking it one inning at a time. I feel like some starts I get to where it's like, you know, I get to that 6th inning and I try to make it bigger than it is.
Okay.
So it's like every inning, especially this week, I was just telling myself, you know, one inning at a time, do my best for this inning, and then we can, you know, reassess from there. Absolutely. So when you get to the end, it's like, you know, after the game I felt it, you know, once that adrenaline started wearing off. Yeah.
Well, that's big, Potts, man. I wanted to congratulate you, and I also want to appreciate you for taking time out your day to come out here on the show and talk with us about that performance, man. Potts was a big part of them getting the first win against OCU in the regular season since 2019. We won against them in the postseason in 2021, but that wasn't regular season. That was in the SAC tournament. So like I said, that's the first one we've had against them since 2019. Winning a series we haven't done in a long time. But we got one, and I'm proud of you, boy. I'm really glad to see that you closed out the season on a really high note, and I appreciate you coming out here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you all.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all.
All right. Now let's get on to this last game, because we're coming close on time for this subject. Game 3. Samuel drove in a run on what seemed to be a routine ground ball, but it hopped over the shortstop's head after it hit the dirt. You know, when you're playing on dirt, sometimes you get crazy hops. Yeah. So it hopped over his head, and we ended up scoring a run on that. And then we had Bach on the mound for game 3. You know, this guy I always talk about. He gets the job done. Consistent guy. The boy hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lie to you, because he was struggling.
Made you alive?
Oh, yeah, he made me alive for real.
Oh, wow.
He made me alive. And it makes me sad, because that's my boy. So you know I'm always talking up. I'm like, man, we about to throw in game 3. We finna win the series. We finna get the first series win against OCU in I don't know how many years. And I'm like, yeah, we got this. He get on the mound. First guy.
The teeth clench.
Yeah,
That's how frustrating
yeah.
it is.
It made me so frustrated. He hits a guy, then he walks a guy. Then a couple wild pitches later, and a hit. OCU was able to get across 2 runs on just 1 hit. And they went ahead 2-1. Now that ain't bad, right? That ain't bad. That's all right. 2-1 ain't bad. You know, if you can get out of there with only 2 runs scored off of not a really good inning, that's okay. That's okay. But then the game kept going on, and he kept doing the same thing. He ended up walking 4 guys. He hit 2 guys, and he gave up 6 runs through 4 innings. So that was not his best outing. It hurts. Now that doesn't take away from him as a pitcher, because he did have a really good regular season. It just so happened that the last series of the year was not his best. It wasn't his best. Once they took him out, they put in Brandon, which he held them quiet for a little bit, but a couple hits later, man, then another pitching change. They scored 4 more runs, and they went up 10-1. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the game live, you know. Oh, speaking of, how much time I got? I don't want to make sure I don't spend too much time. But speaking of, you know how I say they always make you pay to watch the game? Well, you know, I guess since I got a name under me now, I got a little title under my name. You know, I sent a little email. I said, hey, you know, I need this game for the free.
They gave it to you?
Yeah, they gave it to me. So big shout out to Oklahoma City.
Man. Y'all got the cosign from the reporter show, man. Shout out y'all.
I appreciate that. That was big. So I'm glad.
That's tough.
I'm glad I was able to watch the game. And so, but as I was watching that game, I just shut my laptop. I said, it's 10-1 in this bottom of the 8th. They only got 1 more inning. I thought the game was over with. But the bottom of the 9th, them boys said, we ain't over with yet. The game ain't over with yet. And so, bottom of the 9th, man, bases were walked loaded. So they gave us some help, big time help. But then Memo came up to the plate, and he drove in a run with a single to left. So, you know, got a little something going here. Then BP came up, he singled through the left side to score another run. Then Hato came up, and he doubled to right field. That scored 2 more runs. So I'm like, oh, hold on now. They coming alive. The last inning, they said, we not going down. Then Van came up, and he hit a shadow pop fly that got down. And it's like one of those situations where when things start going like that and it just feels like can't nothing go their way, it's like, okay, something happened. Something happened. Yeah. And so then we scored 2 more runs to make it 10-7 with a runner on and Felix coming up to the plate. You know, Felix has a very high possibility chance of hitting a home run. This could be a 1-run ball game. That didn't happen. We ended up getting that last out finally, and that was the end of the game. We ended up losing that one 10-7. So it was a little disappointment because I think it was a game that we really could have won. But, you know, it is what it is. Last game of the season. Didn't end on a high note, but we ended on a note where we didn't lay down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We did not lay down. Notable players from this one was Felix. He was 2 for 4, and BP was 2 for 4 with RBI. So now we'll put this on the screen for you guys. Baseball is in the conference tournament this weekend, and they'll be facing off against, who else? USAO. In USAO's bracket. Now, it just says USAO's bracket because they're playing at USAO's field, but it's really MACU's bracket because MACU has the 1 seed. Okay. So we're playing USAO, who is the 3 seed, and we're the 5 seed. Now, I will say this. We ain't beat USAO in a little while, even when they're not at their best. So, this ain't gonna be no cakewalk.
Nah, not at all.
It's not gonna be a cakewalk. And I hope that it's not a blowout. Because if it's a blowout.
Nah, come on, man.
I said I hope. I'm not saying it's gonna be. I'm just saying I hope it's not a blowout because there have been so many situations where we're playing USAO and the game is there. You know, we got a couple runs here. They not scoring too much, and it's just like, all right, we got it, we good. You know, we just need to keep playing great defense, and then boom, something happens. Yeah. And it just the wheels fall off. Yeah, it's always something.
Get too bright, let me get too big.
Something. Don't know what it is, but it's not too good. But I'm not gonna speak too long on that. I just wanted to show y'all that schedule, man. They got the conference tournament this weekend, Friday through looks like Monday, possibly if they went out all the way. So hopefully we talking about y'all on Monday too.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about as far as the whole OCU series and going into the postseason play is that, we expected them to win the game, but let's be honest, we didn't really expect them to win a game and then keep the other two close. Like, honestly, we thought if they did win, it was going to be okay, one of those things, but then we thought OCU was eventually going to blow them out. That's what a lot of people thought. They didn't. You know what I'm saying? We showed up, and even the games that they did win, we showed them like, hey, man, like, we can play with any of y'all. Like, they're one of the best teams, so I think going into this postseason play, shout out Potts, he set the record straight. We got to feed off his energy because he came in at OCU, not his home field, and basically saying, we ain't scared of y'all. I don't care how high y'all are ranked.
Off of a loss, too.
Yeah, off a loss.
Off of a loss.
And a rain delay.
Rain delay.
Bro.
All the adversity was there.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't care about none of that adversity. We still going to go out here and compete and win. So they keep that same mentality, and everybody can go up to that level. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's teams here that can beat them, but I don't know if anybody will beat them. So,
absolutely.
Baseball players, tell your teachers Tuesday, we're not going to be here.
You know what I'm saying?
They're going to be coming back.
They're going to be celebrating.
They're going to be on the bus
They gonna be on the bus
celebrating. We're not going to be here Tuesday.
Yes,
and we're going to be tuned in.
I agree. I got complete faith in them. Like we said, we've seen them step up to the plate. No, unattended, whatever. we seen them step up to the plate. Like when they need to, and prove that they can handle themselves against bigger, like higher rated opponents.
Yep.
And so I feel like going into this one, it's very high possible of an upset.
I feel good about us.
I'm more than confident in their abilities to overcome. Like how long has it been? However you said.
I don't know how many years. I ain't even count.
However long.
Too much to count.
Too much.
And none of that really matters, man. I mean, it's a new day.
It is. It's a new day.
It's a new day. It's our game to go out and win and go out and compete. So.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna take this one on the softball because I don't want to skip out on them. They had the last regular season matchup against Southwestern Christian. Game 1. Bottom second, Michaela Reese on an error. Then Absidy and Maddie had back-to-back singles to score our first run of the game. And afterwards, a double steal attempt allowed Absidy to reach home to make it safely. And allowed Absidy to reach home safely. My fault, y'all. I'm tripping over words. To make it 2-1. Then bottom third, Reagan led off with a single. And after Jaden moved her over with the bunt, Ariana drove her in with a single to center to make it 3-1. So offensively, getting things going early. Then bottom fifth, Ariana doubled the left, and Michaela drove her in with a base knock to make it 4-1. And so everybody hit. Everybody doing their job, and everybody scoring. And as you can tell, 4-1 score, that means our pitchers are doing their job as well. And so that was Addie. She did her job very well. She held them to 1 run on 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and she won that game 4-1. As a team, they're doing really good. It looked really good, and I was excited to see that because, as you guys know, we wanted to win this series so that we'd be 4th seed, which it didn't really make a difference because 4th or 5th seed, we was probably going to end up playing the same team. Some notable players from this one was Ariana. She was 2 for 2 with an RBI, and Maddie was 2 for 2 with an RBI as well. Game 2, top first. We struggled a little bit to start this game. Had a couple errors, well, just one, and then 3 hits later, we were down 2-0. So 2-0, quick little jump out, but 2 runs ain't really that much. You know what I'm saying? It's there, but it ain't really that much. Luckily, Southwestern did not play well either. Jaden came up, she reached after being hit by a pitch. Then Berkeley drove her in with a single to left field. And that's how we got our offense going. It was 2-1 after that. Then a couple errors later and a single by Jenna scored 2 more runs to make us go up 3-2. So we answered them right back at the bottom of the first. So that's good to see. And top third, things fell apart a little bit though. Southwestern came up. They put together 5 hits, scored 4 runs, go up 7-4. Offensively, we did not answer to that. They ended up winning this game, we ended up losing this game 11-5. They put up 17 hits on us, and we had 4 errors behind that. So I talked to Coach earlier today, and he said himself, we know that second game was not our best game. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't clean. It wasn't clean, and they was putting up a lot of hits, and it didn't look too good. So I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Scrap that one. We got to go into tomorrow and win 2 games and let that be that. So a notable player from this one was Jenna. She was 2 for 3 with an RBI. Game 3. This game was pretty quiet for both teams until the 4th inning. Southwestern put together 3 big hits to score 2 and go up 3-0 in that 4th inning. So I'm thinking, dang, 3-0, that's a big inning. And for a game where offensively we were not moving, we wasn't hitting, they wasn't hitting for real, then they jump out with a big inning, it's like, okay, where we going to be at? How are we going to respond to this? And so they did the same thing in the 5th inning to go up 5-0, but we came alive in the bottom of the 5th inning after Jenna led off with a single, and then the center fielder got lazy and let the ball get by, and she ended up making her way all the way to third base off of a routine single. So that was That was big up to us, but what you doing in the center field? Because you're tripping. Then Maddie actually came up and hit a triple to score her, and Aaliyah hit a sac fly to score another to make it 5-2 Southwestern. So, 5-2. It ain't bad. Like 3 runs, got 2 more innings. We can make it happen. But of course, Southwestern came up. They come up, and they responded with another 2-run inning to go up 7-2. We ended up losing this one 7-3. We didn't get out hit bad. They had some errors, and we didn't. We had a really clean game, honestly. And we didn't come out on top. So I was a little sad about that one. But a notable player from this one was Reagan. She went to Wendy's and got her a 4-for-4 with an RBI. That's pretty crazy. So
You just hungry.
he said I'm not hungry.
Big Jack over
I
here.
went to Browns, man. I had me a nice little burger. But it's all right. But yeah, she had a 4, she went 4-for-4 with an RBI. So big shout out to you, Reagan. She had a day. Let's go ahead and jump into this last game, and we're gonna go to some good things that we got for y'all at the end of the show. Like I said, this last game, you really just want to win it. You know that at this point in the season, or at this point in the series, you are already not gonna make a difference between 5th or 4th. So it's just like, okay, how do you want to end the season? You want to end it on a win, or you want to end it on a loss? It's up to y'all. The game was being handled by pitching on both sides. Then in the 3rd inning, with 2 outs, we made an error that helped them play 2 runs. So it's just like, what are we doing? Come on now, let's go. And then bottom 3rd, Reagan drove in a run this to right to make it 2-1, Southwestern. Very next inning, Michaela led off with a triple to right center. So they hitting some, there was 3 triples this weekend. Well, I guess 2 triples and 1 was off of air, but still, they were struggling this weekend for real. Then hold on, I lost myself. Where I'm at?
She said Michaela tripled.
Oh yeah, you right, my fault, y'all. And then absolutely dropped down a perfect bunt to score her to tie it at 2-all. So it's 2-2. Bottom 5 or bottom 3rd. I can't remember where I'm at. I lost my track. My track of thought. I'm trying to go too fast because I see that time ticking down on me, y'all. I'm sorry. But anywho, after that, Reagan singled to left to score another to take the lead 3-2 after 4 innings. That's where I'm at. 4 innings, we're up 3-2. So we got 3 innings left in this game, and it's like, okay, we just need to shut down defensively and keep it going offensively. Well, we did not keep it going offensively. We didn't score another run the rest of the game. So I was like, okay, so y'all are just going to have to lock it down defensively, which they did. Addie was on the mound again, and she did exactly what she did in that first game. She was very efficient on the mound. She threw a complete game and only gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk with 3 strikeouts. Ended up winning this one 3-2. Some notable players was Reagan. She was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and Absolutely was 1 for 2 with an RBI. Now, I'm going to talk about softball a little bit, but I got to get track in here. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to get track in here. Men's and women's golf are at the SAC Championships right now. They will be finishing up today, so we will be covering them next week. Track, we're at the SAC Championships this past weekend at John Brown. And just so y'all know, I'm only giving the top 3. If you got a medal, if you got gold, silver, or bronze, I'm going to shout you out. If you didn't get that, I'm sorry. All right, on the men's side, Evans, Pololet, 2nd in the 1,500 meter with a time of 3:58.26. Now, y'all already know the other name I'm going to say right after I say him. I'm pretty sure y'all know the man's name because we say them 2 names every week. Kashawn Garcia, 2nd in the 400 meter with a time of 49.31.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to say it again. Then, Evans, 2nd in the 800 meter with a time of 1:54.30. Who I'm going to go back to? Keyshawn,
Yep.
1st place in the 800 meter. So they was back-to-back in the 800 meter. So they was both on a little podium with their little medals on. So big ups. Yeah, that's what I like to see.
More Wayland than anybody else on the podium.
Absolutely. So they was back-to-back, 1st and 2nd in that 800 meter, and they're both in the top 15 for best times this year in the NAIA for the 800 meter.
Let's see.
They didn't run that particularly at that meet, but the meets previously, they both their best have placed in the top 15. And so that's really good to see. So they're probably going to be at nationals, I have no doubt. Then after that, DeAndre Harris got 2nd in the 400 meter hurdles with a time of 56.11. Then the 4x14 got 2nd place as well with a time of 3:19.98, and that team consisted of Colin, DeAndre, Evans, and Kashawn. And then the 4x18 got 2nd as well with a time of 8:42.66, and that team, of course, consisted of Keyshawn and Evans, and then Zach and Ethan. Lorenzo Lucis got 2nd in the triple jump with a jump of 14.64 meters, and he got 3rd in the long jump with a jump of 6.96 meters. Lorenzo also has the 8th best jump in the NAIA this year in triple jump, so he will also probably be heading to nationals.
He's gonna be a national.
So that's 3 right there. On the women's side, Faith Castillo got 3rd in the long jump with a jump of 5.26 meters, and Amber CA got 3rd in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. I will never ever in my life run that long.
Nope. I never did a steeplechase.
Never.
Nah, it look kind of fun. I ain't gonna lie.
What? Jumping in the water?
Granted, the 3,000 don't sound fun.
Yeah.
But the little jumping over the water, man, that sound cool.
I
Like,
couldn't do it, bro. No, I hate wet socks.
Yeah.
I hate wet socks.
Your feet wet. You
you
running?
still running, yeah.
You still running.
I'm gonna be mad.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably humid. It's probably humid because they was in they was in Arkansas.
Yeah, so you know it was
That's
humid.
definitely humid.
You know it was humid.
Absolutely not. But props to you for doing it and getting 3rd place. Big shout out to you. We're waiting to see who qualifies for the NCCA National Championships because they will have that on the 8th through the 10th, and that is next week. And then the NAIA Championships are on the 22nd through the 24th. We're going to talk about these certified nominees because this is hard. This is hard. We got Potts, who did his thing. 14 strikeouts. Got a win against OCU. Number 22 ranked team in the nation.
6-0.
Then, you got Evans. I really hope I'm saying his name right. You know what I'm saying? Because on the thing it says Polo Let. So I'm like, is that like Polo Let or Polo Let? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I am saying it wrong. You can please correct me because I would love to be corrected. But he medaled in 4 events. And who else medaled in 4 events? Keyshawn Garcia. You already know. So both of them medaled in 4 events, and Keyshawn also had a 1st place. So what y'all got? We got 2 minutes to.
This is gonna be hard. This is probably the hardest one we've had all year.
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
Because I ain't gonna lie, Potts did what hasn't been done in a long time.
Indeed, he did.
And they won
On their home
6-0.
field.
Yeah.
And sat 14 of them back to the bench.
Yeah.
So my personal bias, I'm gonna go with Potts, but Potts is 1A, Keyshawn, you 1B though, because hey, you went first in conference, man. You have no excuse to not be certified, man. So that's my personal input.
I got you. What about you, Dale? I need some
I
help.
don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Potts
Okay.
as my pick.
Yeah.
Like I said, 6-0, shut them out. Like Tuck said, 15 of them are having me back to the bench.
Yeah.
Real quick, but I mean, Keyshawn getting first, big.
And medaling in 4 events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And- I don't know, man. My heart's
If there's
torn.
any time to do
My heart's torn.
co-certified
Yeah.
player, man, it should be all 3 of them. But you know what I'm saying. My vote is Potts.
Going to Potts.
What about you?
Going to Potts.
You on Potts?
I mean, I feel like I'm biased, so I don't want to put my vote in, but I'm glad y'all already said it, so it don't matter what I say. You know what I'm saying? But I am biased. I know how we've struggled against OCU in the past, and so it's really big for him to come in and do what he did. But I also want to shout out both of y'all boys, because I've said Keyshawn's name and Evans' name.
And they've been
dominant. They've been
dominant
And
all year.
all year.
All year.
You know what? I think we're gonna save their certified because they finna rank. They finna
you're
medal
right,
at
you're right,
nationals.
now.
So
You're
you
right,
know what?
you're
When
right.
they finna medal at nationals.
You're right.
And when they do that,
For sure.
they both certified easy.
You're right. You're right. I want to show y'all. Dang, I can't show y'all the plays. I'm going to show y'all on social media. So y'all check it out on social media. I'm going to show y'all the top plays because softball has some really great defensive plays this weekend. And I don't want to miss out on them. But we can't go over time, man. So we're going to go ahead and get into these upcoming games. Thursday, like I said, well, actually, they pushed the games back. It's going to be on Friday now. Softball's tournament will start for the SAC tournament, and they're in OCU's bracket. They'll be playing Southwestern Christian, who they just split with this past weekend. And then Friday as well, baseball will be starting their tournament, and the USAO bracket versus USAO. So that's all we got for y'all this week. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I couldn't show y'all the top plays, but I can't go over time, you know what I'm saying? It's 30-minute slot on TV, and I'm probably going over it right now as I'm talking. So it's all right. We're going to see y'all same time next week.